I was watching a video about the Young Turks. They were talking about Carroll and, this new case now where, obviously Donald Trump has been found guilty of, which I'm going to get into my personal opinion. It's hard for me to even say it, but sexually, I guess, assaulting Eugene Carroll. Let me start off by saying that any woman who has been sexually assaulted has every right. Has that lawsuits? They have every right. Any man who does something like that is the lowest form of trash. They have every right to do whatever they want to get their retribution. Okay, to get back at that, because that's horrible. It's the most disgusting, horrible act. But this is the thing: the Young Turks don't understand why the Republican base seems to, like, for instance, like Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley. They don't mention they're trying to beat Donald Trump in terms of becoming the Republican nominee. Why don't they mention that he was found guilty of sexually assaulting Eugene Carroll? Okay, here's my take on it. This thing happened, like, what was it, 20, 30 years ago, right? I mean, what was the evidence? She can't remember the exact day it happened. She can't really remember. I mean, honestly, anything from what I saw in the trial. I mean, there was nothing. I think there was only a picture. There was only a picture that seemed like she was smiling with Donald Trump and with some other person. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they found him guilty for this. I really don't know. Again, listen, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, but when something happens that long ago, you got to have real deal, like compelling evidence. And in my opinion, she didn't. Listen, I think all of us, if we wanted to, could create some kind of a lawsuit, right? Couldn't we just like make something up and just be like, look, I was at this place like 40 years ago and some friggin' person touched me inappropriately. I mean, can we go and sue them for millions of dollars? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So I'm just, listen, I think that the Republican base looks at facts. That's what we do. We don't look at fiction, we look at facts. And I hate to say it, but this case seems like fiction. It does. Now, listen, he was found guilty. Okay, a jury, I guess, of his peers, the judge, they found Donald Trump guilty of sexually assaulting Jean Carroll. So it's done. But the thing is that we question it because it kind of doesn't make sense. 20, 30 years ago? Really? And why now? It's like this is about. I never understand why people come forward now. Like, is it maybe it's because he's the president of the United States, like, or was the president of the United States of America, and you know that you're going to get tremendous fame, you're going to write books, which I believe she did, and you're going to make millions and millions. Because why not bring this out, like, if it happened 20 or 30 years ago, like, why not bring it out then? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand this stuff. But the Young Turks don't seem to understand that, like, that's. I'm just trying to answer the question. They're like, why? They feel like the Republican base, meaning like not only just Republican voters, but the actual people that are competing against Donald J. Trump for the nomination. Why don't they mention this stuff? Like, why don't they talk about it? Maybe it's just because it doesn't seem real. That's what it is. I do believe in my heart that if it was like a slam dunk like lawsuit, like if there was actual compelling evidence, if there was real evidence, something real, like that was like no question, like you just can't dispute it. Yeah, I do think that people would turn against Donald Trump. I do believe it. But when you have a case that happened 20 or 30 years ago with really no compelling evidence, you know, it's ridiculous. That's just my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that she wasn't sexually assaulted. Again, I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying something seems rotten in Denmark. That's all I'm saying. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a politician. It's not political advice. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. It's not legal advice. I'm an entertainer for entertainment purposes only.